Imagine yourself surrounded by people all chasing success. Some adhere to principles, working diligently and maintaining their integrity. Others lie, manipulate, and eliminate anyone impeding their path. Yet who occupies the highest positions? Who establishes the rules? Who possesses wealth and influence? Often, it's those who act without hesitation or remorse, the unapologetically ruthless. Why does our world seem designed to favor those who abandon morality? History provides a stark answer. From ancient Caesars and emperors to modern billionaires and corporate titans, a pattern emerges. The most ruthless consistently rise to positions of power. This isn't coincidental or a flaw in human systems. It is the fundamental nature of these systems themselves. To understand this phenomenon fully, we must examine one of the most disquieting truths about human nature. Power isn't bestowed as a reward for goodness. It's claimed by those willing to seize it. Society perpetuates a comforting myth that success represents a reward for hard work, talent, and moral integrity. However, a clear-eyed examination of history, business, and politics reveals a darker reality. Power doesn't naturally flow to the deserving. It gravitates toward those who understand its mechanisms and exploit them without reservation. Success rarely stems from fairness. Instead, it emerges from control, strategy, and the willingness to cross boundaries others won't. Consider politics. Why do corrupt politicians frequently thrive? Because they comprehend the true nature of the game better than their honest counterparts. Politics isn't fundamentally about justice, it's about influence. Leaders who tell people what they want to hear, who manipulate systems to maintain authority, and who silence opposition invariably ascend higher than those clinging to integrity at power's expense. When domination is the objective, morality becomes a liability. The business world operates similarly. Ruthless CEOs dominate industries because business is warfare, not charity. A CEO prioritizing fairness over efficiency, loyalty over results, or ethics over expansion will inevitably be outmaneuvered by competitors making the difficult decisions they refuse to make. Companies that survive are those willing to eliminate jobs when necessary, even when thousands suffer as a result. Leaders who rise are those who eliminate competition rather than accommodate it. Industries that thrive are built on calculated exploitation. Why industries most influential rulers often have troubling legacies. This truth may because greatness economy doesn't reward kind walk hand in hand. Rewards dominance. Alexander the Great didn't conquer the known world through diplomacy alone. He razed cities to the ground. Julius Caesar didn't rise through honor. He betrayed the Roman Senate. Napoleon didn't build an empire by following conventions, he rewrote them to suit his ambitions. True power has never been about kindness, it's about control. The rulers who left indelible marks on history understood this fundamental principle. A leader must be feared before they can be loved. Fairness itself may be the greatest illusion, a tool designed to keep the masses compliant. Society encourages us to play by the rules, to believe that virtue will ultimately triumph. But who created these rules? The very individuals who benefit most from them. Workers are told to remain loyal, while corporations discard them the moment they become unprofitable. Citizens are instructed to obey laws, while elites bend these same laws to protect their interests. The masses believe in justice, while those in power manipulate legal systems for self-preservation. Fairness isn't a natural law, it's a narrative constructed to maintain control. The real world belongs to those who recognize this truth and act accordingly. Power isn't about deserving, it's about seizing. Friedrich Nietzsche didn't merely question morality, he exposed it as a deception. In his groundbreaking work, Beyond Good and Evil, he argued that morality isn't an objective truth but rather a tool, a carefully crafted illusion used by the weak to shame, control, and restrain the strong. What we label as good and evil aren't universal constants but social constructs designed to serve different groups' interests. The weak, unable to seize power themselves, create moral systems that vilify strength and ambition while glorifying submission and meekness. The strong, however, recognize morality for what it truly is, a cage meant to limit those who might otherwise rule. At the heart of Nietzsche's philosophy lies the will to power, the fundamental force driving all life. According to Nietzsche, human beings don't primarily seek happiness, peace, or even survival as their highest goal. Instead, they crave power, the ability to impose their will on reality, to shape the world according to their vision. Power isn't merely political or physical, it's psychological, intellectual, and creative. History's greatest minds, philosophers, artists, warriors, and rulers, weren't passive seekers of truth or justice. They were conquerors of reality, bending society, culture, and even morality to their will. The will to power isn't about cruelty for its own sake. It's about transcending limitations, refusing to be bound by conventional moralities, and forging one's own path. Those who embrace it shape history. Those who deny it become footnotes. Nietzsche perceived the world divided between two distinct moral frameworks. Master morality, the morality of the strong, valuing strength, ambition, and self-overcoming. This represents the mindset of leaders, warriors, and creators, those who don't seek approval or permission but take what they desire. The strong define their own morality based on excellence, dominance, and the pursuit of greatness. Slave morality, the morality of the weak, valuing submission, obedience, and victimhood. This embodies the mindset of the ruled who, unable to rise above their conditions, create moral systems glorifying suffering, humility, and weakness. Rather than striving for power, they resent those who possess it. Instead of seeking victory, they demonize those who achieve it. Slave morality promotes virtues like kindness, patience, and humility, not because they're inherently noble, but because they prevent the weak from rebelling against their position. The masses are conditioned to believe that strength is evil, ambition is selfish, and power corrupts, ensuring only a few ever dare to claim authority. The reality? Morality is a choice, not an immutable law. The question Nietzsche forces us to confront is profound. Will you live by the morality imposed upon you, or will you create your own? If you cling to traditional morality, you remain powerless, trapped in a system designed to keep you subordinate. If you reject it and forge your own path, you become the architect of your destiny. History doesn't remember the obedient. Success isn't random. It doesn't naturally favor the most moral, the kindest, or the most deserving. It follows psychological patterns that reward certain mindsets and punish others. Across every domain, history, business, politics, those who rise to power don't do so because they were virtuous people. They succeed because they possess specific psychological traits separating them from the masses. These traits represent the true currency of power, and those who master them dominate. 1. Relentless ambition. The first and most crucial trait of winners is ambition, a hunger so profound that nothing can satisfy it except victory. Ordinary people settle, accepting their circumstances and making peace with mediocrity. The ambitious never do. They view every obstacle as a challenge, every setback as fuel. Ambition isn't about dreaming, it's about obsession. It's the unshakable belief that you're destined for more and the refusal to accept anything less. History's greatest rulers, CEOs, and visionaries shared this trait. They were never content. They wanted more, and they took it. 2. Decisive action. Indecision means death in the realm of power. The weak hesitate, overanalyze, and second-guess themselves. The strong act. Decisive leaders make choices with speed and confidence. They don't wait for perfect moments, they create them. Indecisive people let opportunities slip away, paralyzed by fear of failure. Winners take risks while others are still deliberating. A decisive mindset doesn't mean making reckless choices. It means trusting your instincts, committing to a path, and adjusting along the way. 3. Calculated risk-taking. Most people avoid risk because they fear loss, rejection, or failure. The powerful embrace risk because they understand it's the price of victory. Fear becomes their compass. If something frightens them, it signals worth pursuing. Consider history's most successful figures, conquerors, entrepreneurs, revolutionaries. None played it safe. They willingly risked everything because they understood that fortune favors the bold. 4. Strategic ruthlessness. The world preaches fairness, but those who rise to power understand a brutal truth. Rules only exist if you believe in them. The powerful don't blindly follow rules, they analyze them. They play by them when beneficial and break them when necessary. They recognize when kindness becomes weakness and when it serves as a weapon. Strategic ruthlessness isn't about gratuitous cruelty, it's about effectiveness. It means removing emotion from decisions, eliminating what holds you back, and doing what must be done, however uncomfortable. Success favors strength, not morality. The world doesn't reward kindness, virtue, or fairness. It rewards those who understand and apply power's psychology. Winners aren't the most ethical, they're the most ambitious, decisive, fearless, and strategic. If you aspire to rise, you must develop these traits, because ultimately, power belongs to those who take it. Power seduces, but it also endangers. Those who climb to the top through ruthlessness, manipulation, and dominance may believe themselves untouchable, but history tells a different story. Those failing to master power ultimately lose it. Ruthlessness can secure power but doesn't guarantee longevity. The same force elevating a ruler, CEO, or conqueror eventually becomes their downfall. Julius Caesar. One of history's most brilliant and ambitious leaders, Caesar was ruthless in battle, cunning in politics, and charismatic enough to bend the Roman Republic to his will. His downfall? He became too powerful. The Senate perceived him as a threat to the Republic. His allies became enemies. His ambition, once an asset, made him a target. In 44 BCE, he was assassinated by former supporters. His fate wasn't coincidental, it was consequential. Napoleon Bonaparte. Napoleon reshaped Europe, transforming France into a dominant empire. His military brilliance was unparalleled, his strategies revolutionary, his ambition boundless. But power blinded him. He overextended, invading Russia despite warnings. He underestimated his enemies' resilience. Confidence became arrogance, and his empire collapsed. From emperor to exile, Napoleon's story demonstrates that those who cannot control their hunger for power are eventually consumed by it. In the modern world, business empires rise and fall following the same pattern. Blockbuster dominated video rental until dismissing Netflix as insignificant. Kodak invented the digital camera but refused to embrace it, fearing it would destroy their film business. Once untouchable tech giants grow arrogant, believing themselves invincible, until innovation leaves them behind. Power doesn't tolerate stagnation. Those failing to adapt, evolve, and control their hubris inevitably fall. The ultimate truth about power is balance. Ruthlessness alone isn't enough. It must pair with self-awareness. Dominance isn't enough. It must pair with wisdom. Success isn't enough. It must be sustained. The powerful's greatest mistake is believing themselves untouchable. The moment they stop mastering power, power masters them. So the question becomes, if you rise, will you learn from history, or will you fall like countless others?